Hi comic book fans, and welcome to another episode 8 of What Is On My Shelf. Except this isn't really on my shelf. I am still touring around France, so this isn't what's on my normal shelf. This is what is on Mon Table in Mon Motorhome. So we are currently in the Languedoc region of France, and we are here in the Montagnes de Corot. Okay, so these are stuff that I picked up at a French bookshop, which had quite a lot of these typically French books. They do them in a sort of hardbound edition, which is really nice. And the first couple of these are books from my childhood. When I was about 12 or 13, I had a friend at school, and when I went to his house, he had a complete collection of Asterix books in English, which I devoured. I loved them. And so here we have one of the, probably one of the best known Asterix books. This is Asterix and Cleopatra. And on the front here, it says 14 litres of Chinese ink, 19 paintbrushes, 62 crayons, grease crayons, 1 dry crayon, 26 rubbers, 38 kilos of paper, 16 typewriter ribbons, this dates it, 2 typewriters, and 67 litres of beer were necessary for this realisation. So there we go. These Asterix and Obelix books, really funny. This edition is dates from, it says here, dates from 1981, and it cost me €7. I do believe that Gerard Depardieu, actually, it's one of the films Gerard Depardieu did of Asterix, was Asterix and Cleopatra. Here we have all the famous Asterix characters. We've got Asterix, we've got Obelix, who of course fell into the cauldron of magic potion when he was a baby and made him super strong. There is the sort of druid character Panoramix. He creates the sort of potion that gives the Gauls super strength. Then we have the bard, who everybody hates and throws stuff at because he can't sing. And there we have the chief. And on page 1 we get Caesar and Cleopatra. Fantastic stuff. Really enjoyed Asterix as a child. Of course, originally text by Goscinny, designs by Uderzo, so a genuine French comic. Great, really pleased to have picked up a copy of this in France. Right, next up is another childhood favourite, and this of course is not French, this is Belgium, but they're written in, of course the language they're written in was French. This is of course Hergé's Adventures of Tintin. Tintin, this dates from, I think this one was written in, the Tintin stuff came out in a sort of Tintin journal and was then reprinted into these hardback books. So this, the Jewel of Castifiore, or the Emerald of Castifiore, was one of the later Tintin books. I think it is something like number 21. And came out in this hardback format first in 1963. And this was a pretty unusual one for Tintin, because usually he and his dog Snowy and Captain Haddock go off exploring the world and have an adventure. And this is the first one that was set entirely in Captain Haddock's mansion. And this opera singer here has her jewel stolen, and we sort of have a sort of Agatha Christie type story about who stole the jewel, with lots of red herrings and so Now, when I picked this up, I was quite excited because I thought it might be a Belgian first edition, but it is an early edition. This was the most expensive of the ones that I bought from this shop. It was €15 and it's in really good condition. This was the first edition of this, came out in 1963, and when I looked at this title page here where it got 1963, I thought this might be a first edition, but actually if you look at the back here, it's sort of advertising the other Tintin books, and it's actually got on it flight 714 from Sydney, which came after this, and also it has got a indica at the back that sort of suggests it's from, here we go, this here says 1967, so I think this is an early Tintin, but it's not a first edition. I think it's from 1967, but it's in really good condition. Looking on eBay, I think this is actually probably worth 30 to 50 euros. There we go, that was my next pickup. Right, then we have some comics, much more modern, but again, great find. This is one of my favourite comic characters, Gru, and I got two of these, both with, first one is, have you seen Roferto? Roferto, of course, is Gru's dog. And the second one is follows on, and it's at the feet of Roferto. Okay, so these are of course by the great Sergio Aragonés, both in really nice condition. I think probably dating from about 2001, 2002. Yeah, I think what this says is quick hide. Here comes Gru, the barbarian most destructive and most stupid in the history of humanity. And it goes on about his faithful hound, Roferto. So there we go, a couple of hardback Gru's reprinting, I think, the some of the Marvel Gru's. This one obviously belonged to somebody called Timotei. It's cost me about four or 5 euros each, I think. Yeah, €5. Brilliant stuff. And here we've got some of the classic Gru reprints starring Roferto. There you go, that's your lot. So this was an episode of What's on My Shelf number 8, but it's really what is on Mon Table in Mon Motorhome. Enough said.